You're thinking the world's your oyster, but the job is not finished just yet for Sentinels. In fact, V1, no strangers to being on the back foot in these initial maps.
No, they're not at all. This is exactly, well, not exactly, but this is similar to how that game went against Optic that they played in groups. Losing that first map and rebounding with force. The difference this time is that version 1 are in comfort territory on map 2. This is a map where they dominated Sentinels in that group stage matchup. But for Sentinels, it doesn't really have to be a big comp shift. We saw, I would argue, a bit of like a mentality shift, a prep shift, and that was the difference maker on Haven. Here we've got TenZ playing really aggressive towards B main, looking for a cheeky peek. He knows that Whippy normally plays a bit of a passive role on these pistol rounds. And there is a heavy defense set up over towards A. If there was any kind of A split going on, they're running into all of the Astra and Killjoy utility.
Yeah, whatever read they've got, I think maybe the TenZ early push into B main here. It seems like V1 have cut the noise down now to, I mean, a minute left here. Still, players not really set up too much in the positioning. They're trying to fake that it's an A to get them the early B. Look at that, the utility, the knife, the Astra smokes. It's all being set up, but TenZ, he's not biting still. Shut down regardless of it. You are now looking to try and get themselves into the side, and Sick play this patiently, wait for the rest of his team.
Fantastic post-plant positions, though, already. From Xander here, from Zelsis. They've got themselves in great positions to backstab.
Yeah.
Xander gives up that B main position because it's doubling up.
That's close area right here. Sick has no flashes for this retake as well, as it is right about to really kick off and start exploding. Lays down the turret, just a preliminary utility that's being used. Shaz gets that one pick, but now the timing is beautiful from Zelsis. The swings come through, and V1, you can feel
Spike down. Sentinels are a bit more plodding when it comes to the retake setups, hoping to get value out of site anchoring instead.
It's an early orb going to be taken. V1 taking that early map control. Again, they're up against the eco here. Sentinel's going for a quick little play. Okay. Flash to support it.
Hey, they got 1 for 1.
Yeah, I mean, the 1 for 1's not bad.
Zoms took a lot of damage there too, but he still escapes with his life, and that might have scared version 1 a little bit. They know that the rotates would have happened, and TenZ and Chaz have indeed rotated. TenZ has got a ton of information in mid.
All the way pushed into mid, so they know that this is going to be coming through. Quick little free fire around the corner, Penny. No way does Shaz get that. I mean, he's literally spamming through the smoke as far as I'm aware, and let's get the 2 TenZ with the timing here. Could have been something, but yeah. F is slightly more.
If this one goes bad, they're putting all of their eggs into this basket.
Early take from TenZ. Drop dart to try and maybe set one of them up. You can see him just peeking. Wants to try and get a bit of information. That turret, I mean, he's brave to re-peek that in case there was another player holding on one of the angles. But he's got confidence.
And Whippy's not scared of an operator in round 3 here. Oh, and he just destroys TenZ.
Wow.
These opening engagements are so crucial for Sentinels. They're normally very rough at them. But on Haven, they were fantastic. These opening duels, they went +6 compared to the previous time when they played. They went -8 in those first duels. So losing TenZ early here, can't overstate how much that hurts them.
And what an adjustment from V1 here. Starts to explode out into the side. Shaz gets the 1. Still to the back of the side. Sick wants to try and anchor it. He finds it. If he can stay alive, it buys his team a little bit of time. He actually peeks just before the flash goes off. Maybe to catch one of them anti, but with the nades, forces him into favorable situations for V1. They're already deep into the side, and Whippy, well, looking for the ace to try and close up this one. Dapper off to the side. Just playing in the boathouse, and
this is an intensely tough clutch to be able to get.
Just a bit of a jiggle, but not.
That's the ace from Whippy. Going to be explosive from version 1. For sure. But yeah, what they do in the early and the mid round, they have a lot of different tempos that they can throw at you. And it certainly has been very cautious. I think they're expecting some level of set plays from Sentinels. It was actually something that was catching them off guard a little bit, even though they won against Luminosity. LG had a ton of set plays that they were running on the defense. So far, Sentinels not with too many.
Yeah, obviously Sentinels being on the worst buy. V1 anticipate that aggressive play, maybe to turn around.
I do just want to harp on that first kill statistic a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
Sentinels are the worst team in the playoffs at being able to get those first kills. And yet, in map 1 of this series, they were amazing at it. So what was different? It's all about that utility usage in the early round. It's what the desk was talking about too. But I'm wondering whether we're going to see it here on Ascent. It's a little more predictable. Here we go with the sight hit, though. Penny goes 1 for 1. The rest of the team coming through, dodging flash and recon.
Straight into the nano swarms. Could get dangerous for V1, especially if TenZ is hitting these shots still with the rifles in hand. A big advantage for V1. The cleanup as the players on Heaven really stand a chance. That shock dart was incredibly close. Shaz, that is nerdy. Gets the one. There's a rifle up there as well if he chooses to pick it up, and there he is. Walks over it. It's just a Spectre. My mistake still. He won a
picked as well, yeah. So this is version 1's opportunity to clap back.
We know they're capable of it.
Oh yeah, they've looked like a menace on this map before. TenZ opping in mid though. Can he get any favorable opportunities? No one playing with him. No one there to break a drone, break a recon dart. He has to give that up.
Very isolated in comparison to before. Sick really just being left alone to try and hold this one down. With the K-wall popped, well, he's pressed up. That's no abilities. He can use the nade to deny this push coming through. Wants to play inside the smoke, but V1 discipline once more. Still TenZ. I mean, confidence still in play for him to take that kind of peek. The Hunter's Fury cutting across the site here. Sentinels do not want to give this one up. They want to make it dangerous and awkward for them. Let's see V1 committing that lockdown. They know there's not going to be an ult on the other side to try and deny it.
And it's a fantastic lockdown. That was looking dangerous for a moment there. I mean, Sentinels are still 5-4 up in this situation, but they're taking Heaven control off the back of it too.
So smart. And the nade. It's all perfectly timed. The time they had whittled down now. Zelsis pop flashed himself into tree, and while all this was going on, Effys is there, holding it down on the angle. The swings being managed.
It's a beautiful post plant, and it's one of the most aggressive Ascent A post plants you'll ever see too. That is a fantastic curveball for version 1 to throw in there. I don't think...
That's the difference. One gets you criticized for feeding, the other ends up working. And again, another light money situation for for Sentinels.
Definitely punishable there. The knife didn't see too much in tiles, so it gave TenZ the confidence to push down mid. But once he got spotted from top mid, he has to back out. I like the idea, though, honestly, of setting him up for an early round engagement like that with the knives.
Yeah.
One of the big problems, though, for Sentinels, I think, is that they like to go aggressive in mid on defense. But version 1 don't actually take mid control at the beginning of the rounds very often. Version 1...
What is that?
Hello.
No one breaks the dart. TenZ just updrafts into it to try and keep, I suppose, catching a timing, I suppose.
Yeah,
it's they would assume that it's open if nobody breaks the dart.
But I think Sentinels need to start getting aggressive on the extremities. That's the area that version 1 are normally playing in. But it's tough because you have to push so deep against this disciplined default that version 1 are running for the first 50, you know, maybe 40 seconds of the round.
Well, that was knife use close there. I don't know if that was intentional or missed, but Zelsis not having it accessible for the side. It means there's a couple of players from Sentinels anchoring it. Now to pop through. What a dart! It lights them all up as they're pushing across it, and this eco is looking more than dangerous. The knives in hand, the thrifty either TenZ or normally they're aiming to tag the KJ player, the anchor, anything to get rid of the utility.
There's a slight slip up for version 1, but okay, this round it does look like they're exploring towards mid a little earlier. TenZ and Sick not there though. And nobody following the drone at all.
It's a drone for drone, actually. Shaz used his very early. I don't know if he spotted Whippy, who has worked his way into this corner.
There's a nice little ping-pong play from version 1 as one of them backs off because of the drone tag. The other one takes that space further forwards. Makes it hard for Shazam to realize how much of B main has been taken away, but that B main control is purely a feint. This looks like an A split.
Zoms might be in trouble here. He doesn't have any stars set up. Try and hold down this cat area. And it does look like the A split. Okay, the confidence to take that swing. I mean, he wins it out, and TenZ perfectly timed with that one. Goes through his own smoke, just right round the corner. He's been doing a bit of damage, though, in the meantime. He lurked his way into B, and he's started to even it up. Just a tad. Still a player disadvantage for V1, but he has to be re-cleared. Toms! What a flick! Holy Whippy, how does he find that shot?
Such talented players on both sides, though. And Whippy now has it all to do. This would be an ace from Whippy.
no way you can do this, man. I mean, look at the crossfire the Sentinels have set up. He's only got the alarm bot. He's jiggle peeking to try and catch the corners. Surely Sentinels winning, and yeah, I mean, the spacing and...
Yeah, and Whippy's Sentinels are going to have to adapt to quick if they want to get their feet back underneath them.
Get out of my way.
Start to even this one up, okay.
There's one of the Vandals as
I
well.
haven't seen one of those in a while. Just the spam kill through the wall?
Yeah, there's a lot of different counterplays that can be used to make that a dangerous play to go for, but you can certainly mix them in.
Looks like V1 still want to try and make this hit even though they're losing a player. It tags up so many players here. Tit gets beautiful information that they're still just loitering around this area. Shocked hard as well. Oh my goodness.
And in the meantime, look at Ten's position. He's pushed out with his operator all the way up to pinch them.
No way.
He's just playing to contain while Shazam
What am I watching?
sprays them all through a wall.
Do get that one pick though, so an opening, and they want to capitalize. V1, they dash straight in. Oh, Zoms and Dapper, they're holding the crossfire, set themselves up beautifully. Is there going to be a swing coming out from the stairs? Yes. Sick. Shuts it down.
Difficult to stay at the top than it is to get at the top. And that's something that I've always praised Sentinels for, because they've been able to stay up here for a long time. But here we go, round 9. This is the one that version 1 took their tactical time out to try and make some adjustments for. So what's happening here? Enz is pushing out all the way up B main, just based off the spam from Shaz as he uses his drone in a different direction.
Yeah.
Whippy got the better end of Tenz last time he did this.
Oh, this angle. Jiggle peek. Okay. It alerts him, and Tens finds the shot anyway, man.
Whippy's first jiggle peek was not deep enough to see anything, so his second jiggle peek, it ended up being too deep.
Yeah, and we see a bit of that aggressive extremity control that you were talking about, Josh.
Down A.
Off the back of that orb just trying to be taken. There's a pull. The player set up in wine early. The swing comes through. Now a 2v4. V1. Still look like they want to try and take this hit. I feel like they should save their rifles. They don't have money to bring into the next round.
They want rounds on the board, and it is not going to work. Again, Sick has and ruins them. Now version 1 are back onto a thrifty round. They've got some great ults to be able to work with. Hello, that's a cheeky little turret spot. Gives them some decent information in the mid round once that smoke dissipates.
Here's some pace for you, though. V1 are going right into it, but Den's holding down the angle. Zoms as well. Follow up, dropping, weaving in and out in terms of the positionings they were holding. Still Whippy with the Spectre in hand. Rewarded with 1 instantly traded, and Ten's 3 kills on the round for him. And
from both teams, but Sentinels are certainly in the driving seat.
Yeah, Ten's looking like he's going to take an early peek right into the entirety of V1. It's nice knife and the shock dart. It actually clears them off the angle, so.
This is where we've seen so many Jets fall prey, though, on the attack side into this operator angle.
He might get boomed by the KO ult here, but still he peeks around the corner, he misses the shot, tagged up. Tried to find the timing, there's the lockdown, out of Hunter's Fury, V1 using it to counteract it, but the timing is impeccable. It swings through, V1 still going to be getting the 2, and now going to be going for the res. Tens, you can hear the audio cue, he just pushes straight through the smoke, still, it's there. FEs, what a swing around! He taps it again. I can't believe he found that one, and now the Hunter's Fury gets used anyway!
There's no shot! The Shaz just Red Bull clutches! 2. They're going to have to force up. This is round 12. 4 Spectres on the line.
Final on it.
Their hits into the site have been so awkward. They're expecting people from too many angles. Nobody was looking towards door that time. These attack rounds have been rough from V1 once they actually hit the site. It seems all too easy for Sentinels to mop them up. But Sentinels are over-rotating. It's just that version 1 haven't got the read on it yet.
In this round, they would have probably loved V1. V1 would have loved to have a bunch of those ultimates that they ended up expending. We've only got the lockdown. It looks like Shaz is holding this shock dart in anticipation for it. Sends it through, quick little dash into it. That's Dapper tracking perfectly, despite the fact that the smoke cut it up. The door was closed. He couldn't actually return back to market. Maybe the 1 kill. Shaz needs to be careful now. Pressed, trying to spam through. He's tagged them all up. He does find it, but a bit of run and gun from V1. It's evened. 3 for 3 in this situation. Tens updraft. Up into the window to try and deny the plans. He's trying to find the mark.
He's given away where he is, though. Xander had no idea, and now he knows the Jet is coming from this position.
Jumps around the corner. Xander, patience from him.
What a play!
That is amazing. And
4 dominance from V1. Sentinels didn't win a single attacking round. And now we have our first opportunity to see Sentinels in the rematch on attack. Taking it slowly, but all grouped up in Gelato.
I thought this was going to be a fast round, but they might just explode through all of this setup that's happening. Setting up the players. It's a close start. A flash to try and support it. But they've got the starter pull. Tapper somehow gets that pick. I don't know how that happened, but still, the fact that they only lose the one, V1 were ready for that. That was a set play for them. They anticipated the aggression coming through.
The question is now whether Sentinels commit to the site hit. Little Nanoswarm being thrown down there.
Yeah. Xander
Just
has
to try and push
used
someone away.
all of his stars as far as I'm aware. The nerf's kind of hitting hard here. I don't think he's got anything else set up. Maybe one on lane on B. It's hard to see with the overlap, but Sentinels have showcased some good patience so far in this series when they waited out. They're biding their time. You know, a bit of early aggression gives them good information in terms of the way some of these players on V1 are set up on this defense.
Whippy's given them enough information towards mid and B that they can keep 3 players defending A, though. That's going to be crucial for this.
Shotgun should be good to try and push them away, but Sick, he's already in. He's found that pick onto Xander. Now it's all on Penny still. The vulnerable up. He's quite low still. Look at that with the door closing. Effie's able to get one, and it's a dangerous situation still for V1. Oh, they close it out nicely.
Try and do it in. It's currently 8-11. Hasn't been having the best game in the world, but certainly not the worst either. Again, more focus towards A main with Sentinels on their Thrifty. They know what this setup looks like. It's very similar.
The side. A weapon for them again.
Xander's committed.
Xander is in a dangerous situation. 11 health. He's lucky. And they just ended up fading right in time. Again, noise being cut here.
Bogdan's Law. Give the Marshal over to the weak player there because they can still have a lot of impact from long range.
I'm so glad you explained it. I giggled because I didn't understand what you're talking about. I was being polite.
I always appreciate that. I can throw anything out there and you'll give me a polite chuckle. This round has really slowed down here for Sen. It looks like they're seeing if Tens can work a pick, if anyone peeks. But the weaponry just isn't really there for anybody else to work an angle anywhere else on the map.
Maybe trying to fake, honestly, the A hit, the pull rotations.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, though. I think that they get it, but okay. Ten just walks in, finds Zelsis, obviously trying to stare at it. Penny, I think, the job for them to try and hold down main. They're able to collect the 2 kills.
And these 3 players over by Tiles are just lost, honestly. They were hoping it would be a fake, and then they were hoping that the A site was open, and now they just have to run into Whippy and Effie's utility.
They've walked into the blender. The Nanoswarm's just chewing them up.
As long as they die.
And yeah, they just need to try and ensure that they get the money for the next round, so eventually they do go down here.
How clinical can they be? Tens and Dapper working together to try and get B main. A similar kind of feel from version 1 in A main, throwing that Astra util and the KO utility as well. But if you go there, you're meeting Whippy's Killjoy Nanoswarms all over the place. So it's a bit of a fake from V1. They make it look like it's just the KO and the Astra there.
The same setup.
Yeah, they're making it look like the same setup, and in fact, it's shifted.
Well, the pressure's on them to try and get a bit of that information. Penny is watching all the way deep down mid with that Marshal in hand, so going to be gathering good mid-round information for his team. Making a call that, well, they haven't really shown presence, and now the anticipation of the pop-out with that drone coming through the utility. They didn't clear it. Knife into the back of it. Good enough. Did it connect? Still. Nanoswarms are popped. Players falling very low. Flash over to the side, and they spam it out. Tens was so deep, and the rest of his team just couldn't get in.
Yeah, no opportunity to whatsoever. Even if they had, Zelsis is there with the flash through door. That makes it really difficult to go and support your jet. And Tens was just left on an island. That's less so Sentinels having a bad sight hit and more the version 1 read coming through fantastically. They had 3 players there ready to crush it and all the utility in the world.
Yeah, amazing conditioning. And at this point, Sentinels are looking for a miracle, just one of those shots. Contact plays all over the shop. Able to at least get the 2 there, but Zelsis immediately repositions. He's holding this cross of his team as they're looking to try and potentially re-peek. He finds his target, and right as the door's closing, that's enough for him. V1 showcasing again. On the same team in 2021. They have leveled up since then. obviously stumbling quite a bit into the new meta with the shift around, but this is still an incredibly dangerous team that finished very high up in their group.
Yeah, that's an understatement. It's a different defensive look once more here as Penny pushes out that B main area. They had Zelsis watching over towards Market. And it feels to them like an A-split again. They've got 3 players here once more ready to crush this. The Arbot, that's going to pop the Nano Swarm and the Suck. It's going to be quite difficult for them to get through, and it's bought tons of time for rotate.
SEN do have time. They could cut away from here, but it looks like they just want to commit into the side regardless. They pulled a lot of the Astra utility out, but the players, it's a bit of a disjointed approach, trying to swing around the generators. The Sheriff's in hands. How is Shaz hitting those shots? He picks up a gun. 2v3. He'll flash over it, Sick eating a chunk of damage just from the shock dart. Spike still not down.
If he's trying to tag somebody that might be playing Hell during the midst of all of this. Penny pushed out B main early round, so he's only just now reconnecting for this retake. 10 seconds before Effie's has that recon. Penny's going to look for a pick early. Sick on an off angle. Can't get the trade, Shaz.
Yep. Dashes away, 5 health. Penny's staying alive there. It's amazing for them, but not enough. Shaz reads that the repush was coming through and he can't
bloom his smokes, can't use his pulls, that kind of stuff. Or if he can use them, he has to do it early. This got Sentinels straight back in the game.
Yep. They don't want to slow down. Hunter's Fury used. Interacting this lockdown, just pushing across.
That's their lockdown.
That's their lockdown. Now they have been met with a spray down from Whippy. That has completely stunted this push. The chaos of it still detained. Is he going to clear the corner? He's just waiting right around. He wants to hunt down these players, assuming they're at the back of the site.
Effie's got his rifle back.
Effie's is back. The weapon in hand. Could be a critical mistake. Still, Sentinels, 2 players up. Zoms, a lot of pressure.
No way.
He goes down.
To Effie's, who was detained the whole time.
Oh
they just couldn't find him. That is absurd.
Yeah, honestly, it gave Effie's this weird safe area that wasn't checked.
Just when you thought it was looking good for Sentinels to try and make it slightly more even.
And they're straight back with Sick and Zoms with pistols. And 10s too. He's 1 away from the knives. Bladestorm would be online if they can navigate this A pressure from Xander and Zelsis.
Oh, more information with that knife.
That also means it's not going to be online to actually stop 10s once he does pull out the Bladestorm.
That's not bad. They anticipate maybe a fast little burst here. The smoke was popped. Backing away, 10s now. Goes straight through, right into the corner.
Zelsis was
Kill
anti-flash.
is there. Penny, though, still hiding just behind Dice. His team spamming it up. No one's anticipating Tapper, though. He catches the timing, he pushes through, and it's just Whippy left alive. Running his wee little legs to the site. The ultimate's committed there. You can see the Cosmic Divide. They anticipate it.
What a push.
An excellent time. So whatever they discussed is probably going to be, seeing dividends, I think, in the next round. Sentinels, though, they took that timeout. They were pinging all over the minimap. They were at least calling out positions, potentially, of where players were at. And this is a deep push by V1. Why not? You have worse weaponry. See if you can get some value. Are they going to try and set up for a little play here?
They don't have the flash. Normally, you'd expect Zelsis to be playing mid here if they were going for some kind of crunch play, because he has the pop flash through the smokes.
I think the deep smoke makes them very wary.
But also, Sentinels have not really been going through mid very often. They've been doing A cat splits. As 10s pokes his head towards there and just gets it ripped off. That's a fantastic opener, but Dapper responds.
Yep, you got to be careful right now. Still, the push comes through into mid. Oms! Okay.
That's the spike.
Giving up the spike and the weapon. Space being taken. Immediately, the player's coming through, and Siki realizes, got to take matters into his own hands. Flashes around the corner. It was dangerous still. Whippy could be dangerous on top of it.
Spike
again.
again.
The shot right round the side. On top mid. Swing timings. Okay. Well, a little bit of whiffing going on.
He's going to be spamming with that Odin, setting up Penny to hold an angle with his operator.
Yeah, it's all about the top timing, and Penny doesn't find a shot.
It's great smoke from 10s. Lets him cross.
And look at it. Sentinels, they cut noise. They keep him guessing. They force the dart. Effie's thinking, are they still here? They're cutting noise. Are they going to re-hit?
Nobody broke that dart, though, so it actually gives version 1 really good information that they weren't in B main. I think Sentinels are trying now to use that info that version 1 just grabbed as a bit of a fake. Like, you've just cleared out B main, you know nobody's there, so we're going to go and retake that area of the map from you.
This drone as well. Shaz on the other side.
Oh, it's a fake.
It's a fake. Yep. KO ult popped. Forces all the utility in the play as well. They're biting it.
It's only Effie's on B, and he goes down.
Effie straight away. I mean, very believable in terms of the fake there, but Sentinel set that up beautifully.
Yeah, fantastic use of the negative information from the dart. They're doing a fake cat split, which is what they've been trying to do all this attack half so far.
Wait a second. Timing here. It could be really good. Tense is taking this angle. I cannot believe he's still posted up here. The flash off to the side has to play anti in the swings. Adair. He's so deep in market, no one's playing with him. But the timing from Sick could be everything. The players are aware. They're so aware of this one. Whippy. You knew that he was just at least hanging around that tree area, at least from when they were faking with the KO ult, but now the nade comes through. They're looking for the fast retake, pushing through. And the kills, it's all going their way. Shaz left alone in B main, and with him spamming, it's immensely obvious. He does get the one, but can he do anything else? Oh, the Cosmic Divide, popped across, the defuse being stuck, there's no timing for it. It's
just trying to do a little too much there.
Just a little bit out of sync in terms of when he should have been peaking.
And it's not terrible, but it's the thinnest of margins that are separating Sentinels from version 1 right now, and that might be a critical error.
V1 are the kind of team as well, they'll take that.
They certainly
Seriously.
Will. Take a look at this too. It looks like Sentinels are setting up for another A push here, and Xander has a judge over towards Catwalk. He's just holding down tree from really close by. I'm not sure anyone's going to end up pathing into it. It's another fake by Sentinels. Shaz is really reaching into the playbook here.
I don't know if they are even going to be biting onto this one. And look, the drone comes through. V1, I've got a bit of a read that they're trying to do these things. The KNA sent up straight up onto Heaven. Hunter's Fury off to the side. That's Effie's just trying to catch a player that potentially might be planting. Xander's only got a judge in hand. And it's enough to get the pick, though. Zoms was just trying to get the plant down. He just peeked when the door was going down.
How? That's one of those judge plays that you don't understand, but you see them all too often. So 4v5. If there ever was an opportunity to go for, or a time rather, to go for an aggressive play, to make something happen, it would be now.
Fury gets sent out as well. Sick just needs to hold it down long enough for the team to come through. It does break it, but now they know Shaz is positioning right in wine. And the swings were amazing from V1 there. Came in, I believe there was a couple of players there on top of Heaven as they were swinging all the way through door to fight over it.
Game, despite the fact they're 9-12 down, he's 20-14, and his calls have been pretty gorgeous. But version 1 are just a step ahead. Too good on Ascent right now.
And do or die on this map here for Sentinels. V1 though. At point. Looking to try and take it, bring it to that map 3 in this elimination game between both of these teams. And it's a contact play into mid from Sentinels. Risks being taken. Zelsis, though, holds it in the trade. It's too late with the swing timing. It's not there. A bit of damage being done, of course, to Zelsis, but he backs away.
Recon dart is pretty perfectly
No
timed.
way.
Oh, Zelsis has just snuck his way all the way up. Unbelievable!
How does he get that still traded? But he's done the work. 4 players up for V1, a minute left. Sentinels are wondering, do we still want to hit this one? The hesitation is showing itself.
I like the play by Zoms actually towards CT, but it's not good enough. Penny gets caught, but Shaz turns things around with another critical kill.
Oh my word. Shaz goes down there.
They know that Effie's was B.
Difficult.
They know that Effie's was B. There was a recon dart used earlier, and Shaz, instead of grouping up here, takes the more dangerous approach.
They're going to clear him. They have to know. It's a double swing that comes through. Oh, Effie's just about gets the trade, and now we're down to the 1v1. V1. So close to closing out this map here on Ascent. Effie's just has to land the shot. The recon dart doesn't find it in the spray down will, though. Dapper. Positioning was great, but in the end, not quite enough. That is going to be V1 taking this map. Map number 2 going away. Map 3 on the cards. Josh, the pressure is mounting.